Hello everyone, I'm Checo and today we're looking at the AOC U32G4U. And this is a monitor that is trying to do something a little bit different because it runs 4K 160Hz, but it can also switch to 1080p at 320Hz on the same screen. So on paper, that sounds great. But the real question is, does it actually make sense in the real world? Because physically, it's a 31.5-inch flat panel, and for gaming, this side works really, really well. Competitive gaming, I would go to 27-inch maybe, but overall gaming, 32, 31.5 is big, and it's big enough for that feel immersive, especially in games like, well, Cyberpunk 2077 or Forza. But it's not so big that you need to move around constantly in competitive games. And it's a 3-side flameless design, so keep the focus on the screen and the anti-glare coating. They got a light there, and you cannot really tell from, well, the anti-glare coating, and that is brilliant. And something that deserves a mention as well is the stand, because, well, it's a simple stand. You got height, tilt, swivel, full pivot, everything moves smoothly with just no force whatsoever. For gaming sessions, that matters more than people think. You want to move the screen and position it how you want. And the back is completely black with some red accent. So clearly gaming focus, but not ridiculous RGB. And if you want an arm, well, it's VESA 100 to 100 compatible. But let's go away from all that and move about the ports, because this is where things get quite good. You got 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, preferably if you're running a console alongside your PC, and 1 DisplayPort 1.4. That's what is connected right now to the Steam machine, and it's perfect for PC gaming. And there's also a USB hub with 4 USB Type A on this side of the monitor, so you can plug, well, your controller and your keyboard and mouse and anything that you need. So the desk is more or less clear. Small thing, because this monitor does not have a, well, speakers. It doesn't got inbuilt speakers, so you're gonna need to be using some headphones. Can be wired, connected to console, whatever, or, well, plug it straight into the 3.5mm jack at the display. But the panel itself is a fast IPS display with a 4K resolution, and this side 4K looks sharp without needing some weird scale. Text is clear, UI elements look perfect, and details in game really stand out. So motion handling is solid, and more importantly, it does feel good. It does feel really, really smooth, and I don't see distracting ghosting, and fast camera movements stay clear, which matter a lot in some shooter game. Brightness top around 450 nits, which is enough for normal rooms. I have never felt like I needed a little bit more. Right now, actually, I got a 45% dimness, and it does work. It's doing a great job, and colors still look natural, not oversaturated, not flat. Gradients are smooth. The skies don't band or nothing. Everything just look, well, brilliant. Dark scenes like in this game, Cyberpunk 2077, everything look brilliant. Wide angles are wide as well. So even if I'm leaning back on the chair, the image don't fully fall apart. So comfort-wise, this screen, I can game for hours. It's flicker-free technology, low blue light modes, and anti-glare coating. It helps reduce overall fatigue in general. But I also want to mention it does support HDR. So it's display HDR 400. So let you keep expectations realistically. This isn't mind-blowing HDR, but it does add a little bit more pop to the highlights and the depth in some black in certain scenarios. In games, as I said, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, it really helped, but it's not the reason you really buy this monitor. Because the main reason you buy this monitor, the big feature that this monitor is all about, is the dual frame mode. And I wanted to explain this in a very practical way. So switching mode is done through the OSD, so you easily just go to the OSD, go to dual resolution, and then you got the options of full HD 320Hz or UHD, Ultra HD 4K 160Hz. That's it. You don't need to go into Windows setting. You don't need to touch nothing on the configuration of your PC or your console. This will tell the console or the PC that is plugged in what am I right now? Right now I'm a 4K with a maximum 160, or I am a 1080p panel with 320 Hz. And that is just mind-blowing. It's just so real. It feels so smooth. The 320 mode, it feels impressively immediate response. Everything just works. And in slow, like cinematic game, like this one that I got here right now for show you, 4K modes, well, everything, all the details just come to life. And that's really the strength here. It's just not locked into one style of gaming. And something worth to mention, this is Adaptive Sync and G-Sync compatible and do the job really good. I didn't see any tearing or weird shattering. Even when frame rates move around, the monitor stays quiet, doesn't get hot, and doesn't do nothing annoying, no ghosting whatsoever. And I know that sounds super boring, but it's actually a compliment. That the monitor is just, it's very nice. It feels really good overall. But something we need to talk is about the price, because this came out around £340 right now. And right now, that is sitting in the mid-market territory, because you can buy a 4K high refresh monitor for this price, of course, or you can buy a super high refresh 1080p esports monitor probably for the same price. So what you usually don't get is both screen in one. So this is the flexibility that this AOC monitor is really bringing to the game. And honestly, if you play a mix of competitive and immersive games, this makes a lot of sense. If you want a one monitor that you can adapt to different games and generations, all in the same, just in the same package. It's in trying to be perfect at any cost. It's just trying to adapt to how people actually gaming. And in my experience, it does do it really well. Like dual frame works incredible. The screen is super comfortable. All the viewing angles are brilliant. And this is super easy to live with. But you know, as always, just let me know in the comment section below if this review helped you at all. Just consider subscribing. I do post honest tech reviews every other week. So no hype, just real word. And a little bit more, something more personal here. I have started a weekly newsletter, something more chill, something that I wanted to test and see how that goes. So the link will be down below and you can subscribe to that or unsubscribe whenever. But it's a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit more chill. You show you like what we're working this week and everything. So I say link is in the video description down below. But don't forget guys, and Checo Tech, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. Adios.